You have tried products, you have tried techniques, and somehow your hair still looks flat, thin, and like it belongs to someone 20 years older. Let's fix that right now. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and youth-boosting fixes for mature women so you get simple, proven transformations that work instantly. Today we are uncovering 3 stunning short hairstyles that actually thrive on fine thinning hair over 60. And by part 3, you will want to pause this video, call your stylist, and book an appointment. I mean it. We are covering the styles that add volume, lift your face, and restore elegance. And I am going to tell you the one finished detail in part 2 that most women never even think to ask for. The very first style? It is the one I see women overlook every single time. Let's go. Part 1. The textured pixie cut. Volume without the weight. Have you ever looked at a hairstyle on someone else and thought, that would never work on my hair? That feeling stops today. Because the textured pixie cut was practically invented for fine thinning hair over 60. And most women walk right past it without a second glance. Here is the insight that changes everything. Fine hair loses volume because it lies flat, and long or medium lengths make that worse by pulling the hair down with their own weight. Shorter styles remove that weight entirely. The hair lifts. The scalp breathes. And suddenly there is movement where there was none. This is the one that made a friend of mine stop mid-conversation and say, "Wait, what did you do differently?" Now here is why a standard pixie ages you. And why the textured version is completely different. A flat, close-cropped pixie with no layering presses against the skull, and actually emphasizes thinning at the temples. That sharpness draws the eye to exactly where you do not want attention. The fix is texture. Ask your stylist for point cutting and razor-feathered ends throughout the top and sides. Those broken edges catch the light and create an illusion of density that smooth cuts simply cannot. Your bone structure was made for this length. If you are still asking for a smooth, clean pixie, swap it for a textured pixie with invisible layers through the top. The difference is immediate and dramatic. The second swap is product. Heavy creams flatten fine hair the moment they touch it. Swap to a lightweight volumizing mousse applied at the roots while hair is still damp. That single change adds visible body before you even touch a blow dryer. Yes, that's simple. One maintenance tip that most women skip: have your stylist trim the nape and sides every 5 to 6 weeks. Fine hair grows outward and downward at those sections, and when it gets too long it collapses the shape and flattens the top. Part 2. The face framing layered bob. The cut that lifts everything. Bold truth. The wrong bob is one of the most aging hairstyles a woman over 60 can wear. And the right one is one of the most rejuvenating. The difference comes down to one decision your stylist makes in the first 2 minutes. Most women over 60 who ask for a bob leave with a blunt, one-length cut that sits heavy along the jaw. And here is the key insight. A blunt bob on fine hair does not create fullness. It creates a flat shelf. The hair hangs in a straight curtain, emphasizing the jawline and pulling the eye downward rather than upward. That downward pull ages you faster than almost anything else. This one thing is doing more damage than you realize. The fix is what stylists call a face framing layered bob, and it works entirely differently. The layers are graduated, meaning they are cut progressively shorter as they move toward the face. Those shorter pieces curve gently inward and upward, creating a natural lift at the cheekbones. Your eyes look larger. Your cheekbones look higher. Your whole face reads as more awake and radiant. Honestly, this is the cut I wish someone had shown me the moment my hair started thinning. It uses the fine texture as an advantage rather than fighting it. If you are still wearing a blunt even-length bob, swap it for a graduated layered bob that is half an inch shorter at the front than the back. The uplift at the cheekbone line is extraordinary. The second swap is how you dry it. If you are air drying a fine layered bob, you are losing 60% of its shape. Swap to a round brush blow dry, lifting the roots away from the scalp as you go. Those 2 minutes of lifting at the root while heat sets the shape are the entire secret behind every salon blowout you have ever admired. This is the one that makes women ask what changed about your whole face. The finished detail I mentioned in the intro, here it is. Ask your stylist to add a slight interior thinning through the underneath sections only. Not the top, not the surface. Just beneath. That removes the weight hiding underneath, lets the top layers sit higher, and creates a visible softness through the silhouette that no product can replicate. That contrast is Part 3, the soft feathered shag. The style that brings fine hair back to life. You have been told your whole life that fine thinning hair needs to stay simple. Shorter in the back, neat on the sides, nothing too adventurous. Let me tell you something. That advice is exactly what has been keeping your hair looking flat. The soft feathered shag is the most volume-generating cut available for fine hair over 60, and almost no one is talking about it. Here is the insight that surprises everyone. The shag works because of what it removes, not what it adds. Unlike other cuts that try to compensate for fine hair by keeping length and weight, the shag removes interior bulk through a technique called channeling that creates airy pockets of space inside the hair. Those pockets make fine hair float rather than fall. And floating hair looks full, alive, and The aging version of this mistake is wearing the same safe conservative shortcut year after year. The one your mother probably wore and her mother before her. That mushroom-shaped or rounded close-cut style compresses the crown and broadens the sides. It does not frame your face. It frames your age. If you are still wearing that rounded safe shape, swap it for a soft feathered shag that adds curtain fringe at the front and choppy layers through the crown. The lift and movement are immediate, and those beautiful eyes of yours finally get the framing they deserve. Stop. That was the moment right there. The second swap is the fringe. A blunt solid fringe on fine hair looks thin and sparse within days of cutting. Swap it for curtain fringe. Pieces that are point cut and parted softly in the center. Curtain fringe never thins out visually because the gap in the center creates the illusion of density on both sides. One maintenance tip: a soft feathered shag needs a light hold texturizing spray, not mousse and not serum. Texturizing spray holds the separation between layers without weighing them down. That separation is what keeps the shag looking intentional and full rather than wispy and undone. There is a color technique that works with every single one of these three cuts to make the hair look twice as thick. And it has nothing to do with dyeing your whole head. Part 4 is the one that pulls everything together, because the right cut means nothing without the right color strategy to match it. What I am about to show you is the reason some women look 20 years younger in a photo while wearing the exact same style as someone who looks older. Do not skip this one. Part 4. The color strategy that makes all three cuts look fuller, richer, and younger. You could have the most perfect cut on this list and still look older than you should. Not because of the shape, because of the color. And this is the part nobody talks about. Here is the surprising truth. The biggest color mistake women over 60 with fine thinning hair make is going too uniform. One solid shade, root to tip flat as a piece of paper. Uniform color removes all dimension from the hair. And hair without dimension looks thin, regardless of how good the cut is. Dimension is what creates the illusion of depth. Depth is what creates the illusion of fullness. Fullness is what makes your hair look like it belongs to someone 20 years younger. This one is everything. The fix is a technique called micro highlights or baby lights. Extremely fine highlights placed only through the top layer and the pieces that frame your face. Not chunky highlights, not balayage that starts midshaft. Baby lights. They are woven so close together that they do not read as highlights at all. They read as natural variation. The kind of variation young healthy hair has on its own. Honestly, this is the technique I wish I had known about 10 years earlier. It works on every single cut in this video. And your natural elegance is what carries it. If you are still using a single flat color all over, swap it for a tonal color. Your base shade with 2 tones of highlights woven through the surface only. The lighter pieces at the top catch the light and create the visual impression of volume even when the hair is lying still. The second swap is the root color. Many women with fine thinning hair dye right to the root to cover gray. And that creates a hard visible line every 4 weeks that actually draws the eye to the scalp. Swap to a root shadow technique. Your colorist blurs the root by keeping the first ½ inch slightly softer and less saturated than the mid-lengths. That blurring means the scalp never telegraphs through, even as the color grows out. This one tip alone saves most women money and removes one of the most aging visual cues a hairstyle can have. There is one technique that changes how your entire hair reads in photographs and on video. It takes your colorist exactly 4 minutes at the end of your appointment. And once you know it, You will never skip it again. You just learned 3 complete hairstyle transformations: the textured pixie, the face-framing layered bob, and the soft feathered shag, plus the exact color strategy that makes all 3 look fuller, richer, and genuinely younger. Most women spend years figuring this out alone. You just got all of it in one sitting. You didn't just watch a video. You changed how you'll look tomorrow. Tell me in the comments, which of these 3 hairstyles are you most excited to try? And did any of the color mistakes in part 4 catch you completely off guard? Next time, we are covering the one clothing mistake that instantly flattens your silhouette, and the simple swap that restores every curve you thought you had lost. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I will see you in the next one.